Kia ora from Aotearoa and welcome to Guardians of Gaia on the Super Full Moon Gathering, the place in cyberspace where Guardians gather to share their gifts, their intel, their guidance, their wisdom, and often where some of the bigger pieces for our planetary puzzle are able to come through when we join together through the unified field across all continents. So thank you all who are joining us in person today. And for those who are listening to the replay, we will see you along the way. Let us begin by going through the holographic alignment so that we come into synchrony and synergy with one another and the planetary body. Please feel welcome to stand up, sound, breathe, and move if you are just arriving. Whatever's going to most support you and your system to arrive fully into this present moment. Because it has been a huge journey with lots of opportunities for us to synchronize with the source of creation. From our galactic alignment on the 19th, through the day one of the next 36th day of the 9th wave of the Mayan calendar, through the last new moon and our equinox, and all that has unfolded through the sacred season since then, albeit on the Gregorian calendar when humanity come together as a collective in the name of love. It does give us an optimal time to sync ourselves with creation. So aligning physical, mental, and emotional bodies with all-pervading soul or higher self and monadic galactic selves. Activating the Earth Star 1 foot, half a meter beneath the feet, and connecting through the divergent meridians of the planetary body. The rios de luz, the rivers of light, of agua, water, fuego, fire, and oro, crystal, mineral kingdoms. Inviting those primordial elements up through our pillars to cleanse, clear, and purify. Regenerate, rejuvenate, reorientate, and recalibrate. To energize and vitalize. All the way up to the soul star, 1 foot, half a meter above the head. And as we activate our soul stars, we're inviting in our celestial nature, our star maps to anchor through our terrestrial fields. As we surrender through the core of Source in the heart of Gaia, where the new true Earth architecture emerges, in the crystal heart of Gaia. The core of Source in our own heart spaces. Core of Source in the heart of the Sun and through the great central suns. Through the heart of the Moon, through the heart of Theia. Activating our solar and lunar discs if they are operational within our systems. And surrendering through the core of Source in the galactic center into Homo Universalis, our ancient future selves. And inhaling, exhaling with sound, our own unique sound song soul signature, to strengthen and fortify our own pillar first of all. Inhaling, exhaling with strength as we strengthen and fortify our pillar and our place on the planet where we stand today. And inhaling, exhaling with sound as we strengthen our pillars and connect around and through the planetary body. As we maintain that coherent connection, I'll pass you over to Casey.
Thank you, everyone, for joining in Circle today. We're going to stay in this expanded field, in the unified heart space, in the universal fields of oneness, connecting out to the source fields at this time, connecting out to the furthest reaches of data information that wishes to stream through our individual pillars and our unified pillar as one, as we are connected through all the fields. Our consciousness forming a bubble, a webbing, and allowing us to experience the connection in the higher fields, the galactic fields, the cosmic fields, and anchoring into a webbing or a hive as we welcome in the tribes of the honeybees at this time, the galactic tribes of the bees, and the universal light fields that those bee codes contain, understanding that they are codes of information, of upgrades, of stability for our individual frames, connecting to the source of all that there is, allowing those light codes to stream in as their own consciousness, filling up their own space, and filling yourself in this web like jelly, allowing it to exist and you to exist in the emergence of one. And just feeling what it feels to be held, supported, connected at all times, with the streams of information crossing as energy light streams. This is a universal upgrade we will be stepping into today through the circle. Just allowing it to energetically anchor in at this time as we bring words to it and awareness points. And knowing that it is part of the biggest connection of all, and holding the field for the next advancement, for the next level of upgrades that we are all stepping into as a group, as a consciousness, as humanity is one, standing on the earth plane. We are going to stay in this connected field, feeling our feet anchored to Gaia, feeling our connection to her, rooted, grounded, and allowing the codes to continue to stream in. When you are ready, we're going to open our eyes, staying in the expanded field, and allowing the information to flow through the hearts of all at this time.
Thank you, Casey. Just to let you know that the web-like jelly feels like the consistency of a cosmic royal jelly. For those that are not aware, that the royal jelly is what makes the queen a queen when she gets fed royal jelly by the workers. They decide when they need a queen, and they feed her on royal jelly. But that's the first time I've tasted the texture of cosmic royal jelly. Maybe Casey wants to start. She's been on quite a journey in preparation for today.
I'm happy to start. There's a little bit of like backtracking to our last meeting. I experienced some triggering soul memories come into my field in connection to some information, Anna Rose, that you brought into the field in connection to Manhattan and the Light City or the Crystal City located there. And it's taken a little bit of unwinding in my field. I had a soul memory drop in of that particular Light City and the destruction thereof. So when I think of it now, I don't see it in its wholeness, but can only see like the fractal pieces of it. And understanding that it's part of the war consciousness that took place at that time. And also understanding that there's something that happened to the Master Crystal. My soul doesn't tell me that it was destroyed. It feels more like it was removed off the earth plane, that it was no longer safe in that location. And this kind of clues me into the galactic space of why I've spent a lot of time off planet and connecting to the master crystals off planet, waiting for a time when it was time to come back and when it was safe to bring those back. And this for me connects to like the tragedy of Lemurian people and the separation of races and that division consciousness connected to control more times. And so there's been layers coming up this week about feeling safe, about being back here at this time for a specific reason, and remembering that the destruction of the crystal cities happen more and more location than just one. So tapping into the frequency of the ones that are still here, but maybe dormant, where the master crystals are turned off, and the ones that were completely destroyed. And it feels like there's a bigger framework here in the group field to disassemble the consciousness or the imprinting of the war consciousness that kind of exists still in our framework today, in order for these galactic codes, the universal codes of the honeybees and the collection of the tribes coming together in oneness, in order for that to anchor into the field fully. It feels like we need to take a step back and clear the field, to clear the polarity.
Thank you for sharing that, Casey. And it was really important to bring that in here for us who are together here, but also for those that are possibly watching the replay, that if we do get a trigger, rather than run away, step into it and explore what that is. And that's one of the practices that we teach in Mastery and Multidimensionality is the 5 questions. If we're getting triggered by another one, have we met before? If so, how many times have we met? And for the sake of this circle, you can ask on planet and off planet, how many times have we met? And then ask, how many times of those meetings is there still entanglement or distortion that needs to be brought to resolution? And then with the tools we have, or seek support to bring them to resolution. Because once that's in resolution, then we can ask, are we coming together for procreation, co-creation, recreation, or a combination, and get a very clear picture. And that can be in intimate personal relationships or collaborative and working partnerships. And it's very important when we're birthing our new earth through templates and whatever wants to move, that we make sure we have a really clear field to do so. Because we're not here to replay the past this time. There's something very new and true wanting to birth through. So thank you, Casey. And full body resonance on the story that you shared, and that there is some resolution required. In Gaia's galactic field in order to bring the new through. And it feels like it's on 3 points of the planet, Manhattan or Manhattan being one of those points. The next one's in Palestine. And the other one's in Guatemala. So it feels like those 3 points need resolution in order for the new to land, whatever wishes to land here today. So should we go through in that order, and starting off with Manhattan in New York? If we come into circle, into our pillars and bring our consciousness there. And let's see what needs to move. 3, 4, galactic interference. Second dual carriageway. That one feels better. Coming into Palestine. There's just one Trinity gateway here. And to Guatemala, Lake Atitlan. 1, 2, 3. And there's 2 dual carriageways here, so Second dual carriageway. That's done. How does that feel now? And is there any other questions or contributions to the field at this stage?
Casey, as you were talking about the dormant crystals, Table Mountain and the Light City in Table Mountain came through into my awareness. Yeah, as perhaps a place where there are still some of these crystals there.
Can you feel into the field if the master crystal is still there?
Mm. Mm. Yeah, I'm feeling like yes, but it doesn't feel like it's online, like it's active, but it feels like it's there. Almost like being protected, stored. Yeah. Yeah.
Loretta?
What I'm seeing and sensing is that as each one that's currently on the earth plane has been a witness to the destruction of Lemuria, all the individual star seeds that they carry in the sovereignty thereof was closed off by means of protection. And there were a few master crystals that has been not only a witness, but has allowed for the magnetizing of those essences to those master crystals. And the one in Table Mountain specifically is not going to turn on until all the other clearances and remembrances of all the different aspects of the crystals that is scattered around, over, beneath, through, and in the different levels and layers of Gaia recognize and realize their individual traumatic experience and simultaneously their remembrance, that as soon as the trauma is felt, experienced, and released, the remembrance can come online. And the remembrance is that the source of each one of those crystal hearts within each one of those fractals of each one of those crystals, and specifically the master crystals, will allow for the recognition of the depths of the remembrance required as you step into the core of your remembrance. And if I say you, I mean each one of us. And only in the core of the crystal heart of our own being, the very essence and center of our crystalline architecture, there's the source point of full remembrance, which will only be fully remembered when we honor each one of the phases in our evolution. And Lemuria was one of the first ones. So at the core of that remembrance is the most pristine and clear remembrance that will ignite. And the core and original crystal in Table Mountain is already emanating out remembrances, so that all the fractals can be magnetized into one. And as soon as there's one coherent remembrance, only then will the master one come online. Or else there will be a distortion. So it is to protect the sovereignty of the original codes of creation. And the elemental distortions. So the elemental properties of the subatomic architecture that is around the crystal core is still in the process of refiguration, is what I'm hearing, to come into full coherence. And this morning I woke being in the center of the galactic plane, in the center of the core of the galaxy, with the clarity that that crystal heart is in the process of sinking with Gaia's crystal heart. But there's still something in the field that need to be witnessed and honored for full remembrance to occur.
I'm curious if there's a way to clear that trauma loop from the crystal elements themselves, the ones that are still here in Gaia.
Hi. I keep hearing aconite, the homeopathic for trauma. So, calling it.
And it's also the agonite and Agatha connection.
Yeah, and going through all the different potencies of aconite from the most physical levels through the individual emotional fields, through I'm going to just run it through the emotional fields of Manhattan, New York City, through Palestine, through Guatemala, and calling on the waters to hold this frequency, pure frequency, where it's needed. Okay, so now I'm seeing patterns of trauma collapse as it's being held and spread through the water networks. So that feels very good, very on planet.
And a remembrance that that very water is the holy water. And through honoring the holy water, through the holy breath, as we breathe it through, it is allowed to move through all the water systems, in all levels and layers, through sweet and salty waters, not only in our physical systems and the blood that carry the memory of that, but also the clearing of the crystalline consciousness that is allowing for the distortion in the blood to freely start circulating in coherence with Agatha and the crystal heart and the crystal core and the center of each one of the drops of water that has ever existed, as they receive the consciousness in the center of their essence and the holiness thereof. And for the sovereignty to be restored in its circulation, so that that which is circulating through not only all the levels and layers of the water consciousness, of the particles and subatomic articles of each one of the elemental properties, but allowing the waterways to carry these codes through. And not only to carry them through all the different levels and layers of Agatha, but also clearing all the soul aspects of all the souls that deeply yearn to be grounded in Agatha's consciousness, in Gaia's consciousness, to remember that is truly their home, all of them also receiving the codes and the sovereignty of the crystalline essence of all the waterways, the ley lines, the star lines, and the interconnectedness of all, weaving, breathing, and circulating through to receive the gnosis of it is safe to be here in this moment, in the center of all fields of consciousness, and to know that the source of all of creation knows when, what, how much is needed for each one of the elements and the subatomic particle magnetism required to come into sync and synchronicity and harmony and coherence on each individual level for all minerals, crystals, plants, and animals to feel safe through all the different aspects and expressions of Agatha.
I just need to touch a few more human body systems. So while we were connecting the Ren and the Dew at the perineum last time, Saret was at a landmark in South Africa. So go into the human perineum again, bring ourselves there where the extra channels, masculine and feminine, meet. Aconite, through that whole area, specifically kidney channel, experience of the mother, clearing mother trauma, false mother trauma from the carbon forms, carbon to crystalline, clear, clear, clear. Clearing the hip joints, false memories, trauma of separation of the sexes. Calling it aconite to clear the reverberations through the kidney channel, fear of separation, thought patterns recreating separation from love of the mother, love of the father, clearing the trauma of love disappearing seemingly, the trauma of seeming abandonment, the trauma of disconnection. Dropping into the water table, each individual calling into the water table the level of aconite required for their systems to clear trauma imploding at the source. Okay, low belly, womb, and how the womb, childbearing trauma. Oh, I'm just going to say genetic trauma. We're just really in the hip area, the womb area, both in men and women. coming together as one, never separate. Kidney 1 at the soles of your feet. Just feel that point on the bottom of your foot, kidney 1. Open to the possibility that it is safe, completely safe, to relax into pure presence on the earth plane at this point in time. And as we do that and feel that level of safety, we're now opening the field to clear the metal lung channel, connection to Father, inspiration. Calling in another combination, homeopathic remedy, blue light upgrade. Clearing patterns, programs, wrong use of metal. Actually, the frequency of aurum gold coming in as a supportive frequency of metal. A lot of carbon keys unlocking, like old metal. Allow old metal, misused metal, improperly galvanized currents, galvanized to distortion, releasing, 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 releasing. Oof, into the circle. The consciousness of metal itself. And how that consciousness feels about having been misused. And that's going to take time to clear. So we're just going to place a gold needle in it with the intention that, if anyone wants to align with, the intention of right use of metal forevermore. And letting that land. Thank you.
And Anna, just maybe to go back to the feet, where those two lines are moving up through the legs to the knees and up to the hips. And as you were mentioning the hips and the perineum, I just saw how that trinity there, the very holding of our womb spaces and the essence of our presence moving into that place, feeling held, knowing that all that's required to breathe through and weave through after all that has been cleared will support the transformation from carbon to crystal. And I'm also seeing all the different metal structures that's currently on Earth starting to realize that there's a crystalline essence that is available to build our crystalline cities. And our physical structures are then therefore now grounded in the gnosis that as the clearing settles and the trauma related to that moves through, that there's this deep-seated and seated place within the womb, very sacred in holiness, and honoring that process.
Thank you both, Soretta and Anna, for your contribution. That was beautiful. Anna Katerina, you had something?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, wonderful. I would like to contribute, like to add, after Sorette was talking, actually everything. There is a resonance to everyone who was like bringing in something. So a strong resonance, but I just go now back to Sorette because I was guided yesterday morning in the morning meditation. I was made aware to come into inner earth that there is a river. And the river, I asked what I was shown. I asked, is it the river of life? And they said, no, it's even more than the river of life. And I feel it's connected to the womb work, Sorette, and you were doing there with a group in South Africa. And they said, this river inside the earth holds the ancient codes. This river will nourish entire fields in the inner earth fields. The river inside holds the information and codes for the next step. The ancient ones knew about that river. It will help you to understand more of the elements and the elementals. The river holds the undistorted blueprint, and you can help the river now to spread over large fields and areas inside Earth, and it will nourish. It was stopped by forces, by energetic forces. The flow was stopped. And the river will later connect ancient places and all the other waters inside Earth. Also, cosmic universal waters are in it. Ask your sisters to work with it. It was then in the morning. So I tuned with two sisters into it, and it was very interesting because we were shown exactly that, like a metal box. It was about the metals, and it was silver, and it was something that really was stuck, and it started flowing, and we left it yesterday evening, then over the night to spread, and like it was wonderful. And Rose with it, with his needle, the golden needle, to put it in there with his intention to be able to come back to that point. Yeah, it is something like that, and I feel it is so huge and will be nourishing. Like I saw all these tunnels that we are used to work in. This water will spread everywhere, and it has some. It was not flowing before in a way. But maybe you get more to it. I felt it was connected to the womb work that you did, and something is now, it could not flow in her in a way that is now serving the next steps that we take. Yeah. And to the crystals, I add later, to the master crystals, but.
That was beautiful. Thank you very much for that contribution, Anna Katrina. Full body resonance. on these waters within Gaia, this river within the planetary body. And as you're explaining, I was actually watching our deserts turn green again. And that's something that I was shown many years ago would happen in our lifetime.
Those holy
share?
waters. Yeah,
Oops.
but please go first. Please go.
Claudia, would you like to go?
Okay, because here nearby here it's a mountain and it's called a crystal mountain, and I just see colors, but my whole body is swaying a lot and it's still swaying, and I'm not sure, is there something there we need to know or not? I only see colors, blue, pink, and I'm not sure, maybe somebody else can help a little bit if there's anything here. It's South Island of New Zealand. The place is called between Motueka and Takaka. And this place is also where the most water is actually in whole New Zealand. It's a very remote place. I'm not sure.
Does
Leanne,
it
maybe do you
resonate
get
with
something?
Andromeda? Does that resonate at all, Andromeda?
I'm not sure, but
It feels like a
it's
strong
supposed to be
connection.
Lemurian. Sorry, yeah. Okay, you go ahead.
It feels like a strong connection to Andromeda. For those that are new to the layer of Aotearoa, at the top of Tiwai Panamu, the South Island, there is a Lemurian high altar up in the mountains behind Takaka, at the very top of the South Island. The ruins are actually still there. The local helicopter company has the coordinates and can fly people in. It's about a 3-day or 4-day hike in or out. But that's where one of the Lemurian high altars were.
Is it on the coast or is it inside?
It's inland, but in the center of the top of the South Island. Yeah.
Okay. Because when we had the last call, remember we talked about it, and I had a vision from a past life there. So that's very interesting. Okay.
Thank you, Claudia Soretta. You had something to contribute?
The waters, Anna Katerina, that you are referring to is the very holy water of creation, of all the cosmic codes, the original cosmic codes. That is guarded because it is so potent that even if any aspect of distortion touches it, it amplifies that distortion, and therefore it needs to be honored and revered for the potency and the sovereignty thereof. And only those that has moved through some form of exotonial alignment, is what I'm hearing, and cleared all aspects, levels, and layers in their dimensional expressions for all lifetimes, through all star systems and incarnations on Earth. As all of that is clearing, only then we'll start moving closer to those original codes. And the more of us that moves with the full consciousness of who we are as sovereign cosmic beings, that has came here with the gnosis that we are here for 2 reasons. The one reason is to remember that essence of our cosmic origins. And then secondly, know that as anything moves into our awareness, and we therefore are sovereign witnesses to that, there's a clarity that emerges and allows us to move into the essence of those very, very holy waters, our original cosmic essence. And the more of us that move there in the gnosis, that it is completely safe to still have remembrances of all our expressions in different star systems and on Earth and in Earth, that we are walking simultaneously as sovereign witnesses of our original cosmic codes of creation and being witness to all that has occurred. And in the middle of that, the entry point lies into these cosmic waters. And as each one of us move there, that is when that circulation will start flowing open because of the potency of those codes. Only in our highest sovereign expression, when we land there, then we can start circulating through our essence, that consciousness, because it amplifies everything we see, feel, know, hear, experience, touch, remember. And therefore, only when there's clarity, we enter there. And therefore, knowing that the amplification is our service, because in the amplification, that which we are clearing for all aspects of expression and creation is amplified, and therefore allowing for the acceleration of the expansion and embodiment and groundedness for all to know that it is safe. It is safe to be here and to remember fully.
Anna Katerina, as you were talking about this river as well, the image that came into mind with the womb of Gaia realigning with the cosmic womb is that of the amniotic sac and the amniotic fluid. And this fluid now being in alignment with that cosmic fluid and the flow of code therein as well. And with the repair that was done and the realignment, the codes within this amniotic fluid is what's running through these inner rivers. And so it's really beautiful. And as Saret said, it feels really, really, really powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, and that amniotic fluid has got that texture that you were talking about, Casey. It's that jelly. It's jelly-like, yeah. And it is filled in the womb space of Gaia. It is absolutely filled with it.
Yeah.
And what I'm hearing now is those 8 original cells, each one of them will start experiencing a jelly-like feel to it. And when that is started to be realized and remembered and felt as a grounded experience in our bodies, because of that which Gaia is experiencing in her 8 original cells, we can start allowing for our cosmic masculine, cosmic feminine, and cosmic unified, trinitized expression to start circulating from those cells. And the subatomic architecture thereof start circulating through all fields of consciousness. But first, through that of Gaia. And as she's experiencing that, as he's experiencing that, is what I'm hearing. She, he. I'm so used to saying she, but it is a trinitized presence. That's where our Trinity lies in the gnosis, so that Gaia is also the cosmic mother, cosmic father, child being birthed. And that's what the original codes are there to remember for all of us, the gnosis of that, each in our individual way and moment of readiness to know that.
And I'm seeing the whole mycelial network of Gaia as well, and how this entire mycelial network connects to these inner rivers that you were describing as well. And it comes back to what you said, Saret, when we come into the sovereignty of our channel and our pillar and connect within this mycelial network with which we're all connected, we can access these inner waters. It's beautiful. It's incredibly intricate. And this is now flowing free from distortion, yeah, because of this realignment and reconnection of the womb that was done. Yeah. Yeah.
And what I'm hearing is honoring of the elemental properties of the crystals and the minerals, first and foremost, which is the source, the sustenance and nurturance of all of creation, being birthed through Gaia for us to experience, while simultaneously embodying and grounding that as a consciousness for the collective.
I'm bursting.
And then all plants and animals. And all plants and animals are receiving that while we are receiving it. All of us moving through this, receiving of these holy cosmic waters, and the very holy cosmic breath that we are breathing is to come into awareness that we have embodied to such an extent that we are becoming the living, breathing waters and air and light for our crystalline essence and crystalline architecture of our beings, which is this very jelly-like texture.
May I please say something? Jelly, royal jelly keeps coming up. Cosmic royal jelly, 50M homeopathic. Many people who are going to be listening to this call later, and a couple of us on the call, have taken homeopathic honey 50M. 50M, I'm not a homeopath. I use it all the time. I've been taking high potency ones since 2009. So do not follow my advice, follow your internal advice. But 50M to me is cosmic level frequency, 10M galactic, 1M, and then lower into your carbon form. Okay, so I've been pushed to contact Leanne because the blue bees of Andromeda wanted us to take honey 50M today so that we could hold a field in integrity and land codes direct for the coevolution of our current honeybees and humanity, because we are evolving as one. Andromeda blue bees are the future aspects of humanity. And the non-dualistic, I would say the non-dualistic Fae also are the Aurora Fae coming in from Andromeda. That's how, at least that's my experience. So, blue bees of Andromeda. Little code. There we go. In the Master Crystals in the center of the earth, I experienced the Andromeda, ones that the Andromeda crystals in the center of the earth, like a little circle like that. And I'm just gonna presence that. And then just see what so everyone who is okay with aligning with anchoring the codes of the wild genome into the hearts of humanity in service to the highest good of all that is, simply state, I am. And even if you're watching the recording, I am. They're being placed really slowly. Because as they're being placed, structures are righting themselves. They just said, open your fields collectively to the solar gift of the bees, cosmic honey frequency. Allow it to penetrate your form, your field, your life. Ringing solar frequency gifts. You are honored for this, your service of remembering the codes of the wild genome that moves beyond the control of the mind or ego, the wild perfection in form is being anchored and established as a living flow, eternal sound stream of oneness, remembering unity effortlessly, the unity that is. Allow forgetting to be wiped away. It is an old film. Allow your central golden line of intent, the golden metal of your being, to strengthen and galvanize in resonance to the true, to the true. Feel the safety of alignment and presence in the true. Feel the support of the wild genome. Activating through your systems and reality, guided by divine precision, opening doorways of star ancestors, delivering encodements, eternal streams of life, forgotten, now remembering, full access to ancestral streams, from beyond to beyond, from beyond to beyond, from beyond to beyond. There are no limits. That is all. Thank you.
We might want to get that B code up and so everybody can drink it in. I think we've got the royal jelly and all the good juices running now. Um, I'm going to need you to let me share, Leanne.
Thank you so much, Anna Rose. I've just made you a co-host, Stephanie, if you want to share your B code.
All right, here we go.
Your
And
beautiful B code.
there is the Grand Lady. And that's the Cosmic B. And Leanne, we're going to share this one into the group. Yes, we have this. Okay.
We would love you to share that into the group, and we'd love to have it for our replay
Kat,
of today's journey as well.
please, it's an honor. I created these for everyone, so this is actually a fractal, and that's how it showed up. So when I started creating it, it just took this form. It wasn't, I didn't set out to do that. In fact, I didn't set out to do anything. I just started moving my pen and she showed up. They're kind of all like that.
She's magnificent. She has me swimming in cosmic royal jelly right now.
Okay. I think it was Anna Rose that said, that looks like a bee. I was like, oh yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So thank you for accepting her and allowing me to share her.
Thank you so much for sharing her. I've had a particularly busy few days with my bees, actually, checking on them one day, preparing their supers the next, laying out all their comb on their new on the new frames for their next part of their hive. And my little honey house actually smells like a beehive. And they were kind of checking me out while I was doing the work yesterday. So it's definitely, bees are the theme right now. So that's beautiful. Thank you. Wow, thank you, everybody. Is there any other contributions to the field before we bring today's epic journey, an extraordinary journey, and very nourishing journey to completion? Anna Katharina, you had something more you wanted to share about the inner earth crystal?
Yes, yes, but it might be something then maybe for the next time. I don't know. First, I want to thank Stephanie. It is amazing. The bee, Stephanie, the whole room, when I looked at it, everything got gold here. I was sitting in this golden space and it holds all these informations and also, how can I say it, like the safety. I felt it in the bottom of the bee. You know what and Rose were trying like to feel safe, and that is there's the gold. Even it is both up and down, and it's amazing. That's it. Thank you very much. What I got about the master crystals, while Casey was talking, there were several things coming in, and it is one step maybe each of us we have to do together, and each of us has to do it. They said each of you have to tune into your connections to the master crystals. There is still something. Even the clearing was done, but the clearing is really in us, and it is. Each of us was connected to one of the master crystals or even more, and that there is something, but it might be something for the next time. I don't know, maybe it's too much. And a final sentence to the work before was, all will be reborn through the mother, and that is this amniotic fluid. That is what is starting now. Everything will be reborn through her, all the ancient places, everything, like the deserts, and yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you very much. And it does feel like that we're to digest all of the information for today and let it reinform us and bring any distortion into coherence and any resolution that's required. And yes, in preparation for our next gathering, which is on the new moon, which will be a Sunday and Monday gathering. Sunday in Europe and Africa and America, Sunday the 18th, and the 19th, Monday morning in Aotearoa, Asia and Australasia. Wow. Saret, you had something to share before we complete today?
Just something to add, that as the birthing takes place through the Cosmic Mother, to remember the safety and the sovereignty of the structure through which it's being birthed. Thank you.
Which comes back to our embodiment and evolution and making sure our foundation is strong and stable and rooted through our bodies in the planetary body.
There's just one code I want to share for a minute. This year has been a fascination for me in my own system and with my clients about the nervous system. And I'm finding when our nervous system is completely open and receptive, it allows our DNA to uncoil and allows for our telomeres, the little end caps, to light up and receive those solar codes that are coming through. And as the bee consciousness came in, I was watching the telomeres light up in different colorations with different frequency matches. That allows the potential for the human to access their galactic essence even more so and get anchored into the human frame. Their galactic essence, their universal essence, everything that we were originally containing before it was removed can come back online when we are open and receptive and everything is saying yes.
Yes, Casey, and as you are saying that, what I'm seeing is those 8 primordial cells and the royal jelly that is there starting to move up in a trinitized presence through the jelly of the spine. As that's lighting up in the sides, it's moving through in the center to allow for the grounding and the circulation through our whole physicalized expression and that of Gaia.
Our cerebral spinal fluid that helps heal all things.
Wow, thank you. So over these next 6 weeks, as we make our way out of the wood serpent in preparation for the fire horse, we call upon mastery of mind, management of emotions without bypassing or disassociating, and regulation of nervous system to allow for this expansion and integration of what is coming online. Much love and gratitude to everyone for your participation and contributions today, for gathering in this circle. And as we return fully intact onto the earth plane, I'd love to hand you over to Casey for closure.
Thank you, everyone. We're just going to disconnect the field a little bit, giving gratitude for our royal jelly that came in to support us, our galactic bee tribes that are here holding the codes for our potential and our upgrades, and accessing that through our human system that is open and receptive and available for light advancements, and is possible for the recoding to happen in our human system as we return to light systems, allowing all these codes to come in and integrate into the field, and understanding that they will take time to fully drop in, giving your human body the time it needs in that womb space to fully integrate in the softness, in the pace at which it requires. And giving gratitude for our human bodies to be with us on our journeys, and giving gratitude for our connections in the field on the soul level, allowing us to share that expanded heart space and connecting out to our cosmic hearts. When you are ready, we're going to individuate our pillars, anchoring into where we stand, connected to Gaia at this time, feeling our feet connected to her, rooted and grounded, feeling her heartbeat echoing our heartbeat in our bodies. Adding a little density to our frame, we're going to wiggle our toes, begin to wiggle our fingers, breathing deeply into our system. And when you're ready, choosing to come all the way back in by opening your eyes at this time.
And wiggle your body and do the waggle dance as the bees do to register their GPS and to show everyone where to go for foraging. And speaking of foraging, if anybody's struggling to make space out there, please remember that everyone that you have met today on this journey through the replay are all practitioners and facilitators in their own right. So please reach out to those that are resonant if you are in need of support. Much love, everyone. Aroha nui from Aotearoa on the super full moon. So grateful that you are here to share this magnificent earth walk that's getting more exciting by the month. Until next we may meet in 2 weeks' time, journey well.